Hello guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. This is AJ and today we are going to be talking about how you can save money on everyday expenses, and I'll be sharing tips that I normally use so that you can incorporate them in your life to ensure that you save lots of money rather than spending lots more of it. Okay, so the first way I usually save money on everyday expenses is usually I walk from home to the library, so that saves me money. I don't have to take an Uber. In Mombasa we usually use maybe tuk-tuk, motorcycles like that. I don't have to use those, and I can just walk. And especially if it's early in the morning and you haven't done exercise, it's actually a really good way to save money rather than Ubering. Yeah, so sometimes don't just if it is a distance that you can manage to walk and you are not in a rush, so you just walk, and that's going to save you a little bit of money. So another way that you can save money on everyday expenses is actually to keep yourself in an environment that doesn't force you to spend so much money. If you know that being at home, you won't spend lots of money, just be in such an environment. But if you know that if you just start going out, moving out with your friends here and there, and trying to have fun, it's actually going to make you spend lots of money because you aren't in control. Then it's better not just to be in that environment because you're trying to save money, remember? So just make a point of whereby you just avoid being in those environments. If your friend asks you out and you know that it's going to cost you money, maybe transport to where you want to go, maybe drinks, maybe eating out, just avoid being in that situation, because trust me, we all have different goals, and maybe your friend doesn't have the same goal as you. You people may be different, and he or she might not understand what you might try to tell him or her. So don't be in such an environment. So always try to put yourself in an environment where it doesn't force you to spend lots of money, and this is going to help you save so much more on everyday expenses. And when you realize it at the end of the month, or maybe at the end of a year, you actually have spent less than you usually expect. Okay, the lifestyle you choose to live also plays a really big part when it comes to saving money. Let me say you are someone who likes partying, you're someone who likes the idea of just drinking, getting wasted, this is actually going to cost you money, whether you like it or not, because you are into that kind of a lifestyle. But if someone, for example, in my case, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything, I don't party, so that actually gives me a really humble time to save money on everyday expenses, because my lifestyle is just me creating content on YouTube, gaming for my other YouTube channels. Maybe if I want to go out, it's maybe, let me just say, if I want to go out, maybe it's just traveling, maybe here and there. And I usually don't spend so much money on traveling. Especially I usually choose to travel within Kenya because that's where my budget is at right now, so that makes it really easy for me to save money. And another thing is that I'm a minimalist. I'm a minimalist, and this kind of lifestyle helped me save lots of money because I don't need to buy so many things, and my budget is just pretty defined, short and clear, so I don't get overwhelmed with purchases, with expenses. So that's just my lifestyle, and actually this helps me save lots of money. So you have to choose a lifestyle that is actually going to fit the criteria you're trying to hit. Choose a lifestyle that is going to help you save lots of money rather than spend lots of more, especially if you know about your financial situation. If you know that you don't make lots of money, choose a lifestyle. You know what I shared in my other video, say that you should live below your means, not within them. If you live above your means, it's going to be something else, and if you live below your means, that's a really great idea. So check out your income, ask yourself, how much do I earn, and which kind of a lifestyle will I be comfortable living, so choose that lifestyle and just adapt it. When you do that, it's actually going to help you save lots of money, because you are not going to try to fit yourself in a community of people who are actually let me say spendthrifters, people who spend money without a goal. So you'll always be careful about your expenses, about everything you do, about the things you want to purchase, about the money you spend for yourself when it comes to enjoyment and other things. So that's another thing that usually helps me save lots of money when it comes to everyday expenses. Yeah, my lifestyle is just simple. I'm a minimalist, so we don't buy lots of things, and yeah, that's the case. You should also do the same. I kind of touched on this point of living, below your means. I talked about lifestyle, and I just touched about living below your means. So this is something else that is actually going to help you save lots of money. The moment you just accept your situation, you accept where you are, you accept, this is my financial situation right now, this is what I can afford, and this is how I can live. And when you actually live below your means, and you're not trying to keep up with others, you're not trying to compete with other people when it comes to when it comes to how you look flashy outside there, this is actually going to help you so much, and you are not going to find yourself spending much on things that you actually don't need, because you're living just below your means. So your income covers all your expenses, and you don't have to worry about something else. You're not the kind of person who's going to jump to buying things without making a clear budget, without aim. You'd always buy things intentionally. You won't just spend money for the sake of spending, just because you want to please someone else, or just because you want to be like so and so. This is what is actually going to help you save lots of money. So just live below your means, and stop comparing yourself to others, stop competing with other people. Just accept your life, and always work harder, to improve where you are. The little things, the tiny things you do here and there, the tips you adapt to keep you financially smart, is actually going to help you to be someone else, and this is going to help you save lots of money. So always just live below your means, not within them. This is actually going to help you save lots of money, and this is what I usually do, and it really helps me to save lots of money on everyday expenses, because I know if I'm supposed to use, maybe let me say $10 on lunch, that's what I'll use. If I'm supposed to use maybe $5 on a drink, that's what I'll use, and I'll make sure that that remains consistent throughout the month, especially if I know that my income is at such a point, and this is what I can afford, and this is what will actually make me live comfortably. The moment you just decide that I'm a guy or a chick who prefers to live my life like this, not like that, then it will always be easier for you to save money. So this is really another point I have really emphasized on it. So take note on that, and so that you avoid spending money on things that you actually don't want just to please other people. No one cares about you, No one cares about what you wear. No one cares about the fancy watch you wear. No one cares about that, but they'll talk about that, So don't let that stop you from being who you are just because of something else. When it comes to saving money on everyday expenses, we must eat. That's really an important point. Almost left out. So we must eat, and the best way to avoid spending lots of money when you're out there, or on everyday expenses, you should avoid eating out, especially if you're in an area whereby you spend lots of money, more than $10 on your lunch, or maybe on your brunch, or maybe on your supper. You have to avoid that. If you have the ability to just prepare your meals at home, and maybe pack them somewhere and put them in your bag, and maybe you'll use that meal whenever you go out on a picnic, or maybe you go out on a park to just chill with some friends, you should do that. But if you're in that situation, if you can do that, then do that, because eating out is just actually going to you're going to be spending lots of money on things that you actually didn't budget for, especially if you're not the kind of person who usually likes to eat out. So prepare your meals at home, because that is going to save you so much. That's what I used to do, and that is something that actually helps me save lots of money. But in some cases whereby I know if eating out I'm going to spend less, maybe in a spot, a local spot that I usually know of, maybe there's some street foods that I can just buy for maybe $5. I usually opt to that, because I know I'm not going to spend much on that. But if it's somewhere, maybe you're going to a town somewhere, and you know that things are going to be a little bit fancier, you have to spend lots of money on just a glass of juice, or maybe on a plate of fish and some, maybe some other seafoods, some kind of seafoods. Just prepare your meals at home. Just because that is going to save you lots of money. Okay, another important point to just wrap it up that I almost left out is that you should just follow your budget to the letter. This is actually going to help you save lots of money on everyday expenses. Don't go out of your budget no matter what. If you have a written budget and there's a clear cut on things that you're supposed to spend on, maybe that on this day I'm supposed to pay my bills on such an expenses. On this day I have to buy this and that. On this day I have to buy something else. You should follow your budget. Following your budget is actually going to help you save lots of money, because when you actually sit down and draft your budget, you are actually intentional about everything, about every expenses that you wrote down there. You are intentional about it, and you actually allocated certain amount of money on that. So don't go against that, because if you try to go out of your budget thinking that, oh man, this is just a small purchase, doing that, going out of your budget simply because you're thinking that spending $5 on something that you actually didn't write on your budget is not going to cost you anything. But trust me, that habit will keep on recurring, and the moment it keeps on going like that, it will reach a point whereby it will be out of control, and you'll find yourself spending more than you actually expected, and at the end of the month your budget will have been burnt completely. So your budget won't work. So that's another really important thing, and maybe I should have talked about that first, but this is a good way of letting you know that, guys, following your budget is also really going to help you save lots of money. Because I know, as for me, I usually write down everything that I'm going to spend my money on from the start of the month till the end of the month. So that's it. So if you follow your budget, you are likely going to save lots of money. But if you go against it, man, you're going to find yourself at a loss. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, for listening to me until this point. If you like the video, like the video. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe, comment, leave your comment, and tell me, share some of your tips on the comment section about the tips that you usually take when you want to save money on your daily expenses. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.